Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome to the Chec Box. We are finally back again. Kenneth, what's going on, brother?
What up? How you doing, man? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. I am feeling fucking phenomenal. We haven't recorded an episode since March.
March. Holy shit.
What's going on with us?
Excuses.
Excuses, right?
Yeah, I mean a lot of new developments, good ones.
Absolutely, which we will
but-
get into.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Feels good to be back, Ken.
Oh, it feels great, man.
Yeah,
I
feels-
miss doing this. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like Sunday communal.
Absolutely, so do I, man. We're gonna try to be as consistent as we can with
Yeah.
you guys.
No,
you
we have a
know.
much better setup this time around. We're not doing it out my basement, literally anymore.
Right,
So,
right. You know, more
we-
comfortable setup. We
yeah.
here. You know, I actually got my own apartment now, so that's.
I was gonna
that's
say the
where we're
secret
at.
base, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
whatever you want to call
listen,
it.
you know, we
Whatever you
call
wanna
my apartment is a secret base. You know what I mean? It is what it is, guys. But welcome back to the Chec Box. For those who have been listening to us the past few months, past few years, welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back. And for the new listeners, welcome to the Chec Box. My name is Chec. This is your boy Ken. Ken, say what up.
Hey, what's up, man? How y'all doing?
Alrighty. And for those new listeners, be sure to follow us on every single platform from Instagram to YouTube,
yep.
Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. Put
Everything
notif-
except TikTok. We don't
Everything
have
except TikTok
Yeah.
and Twitter. And Twitter.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah, guys, but we are on all listening platforms: Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, as well as iHeart Podcasts as well, guys. Once again, welcome to the Check Box. My name is Check, and today, guys, we have a topic that I feel is extremely relatable to everyone,
Yeah,
especially
extremely relevant.
especially going on in our age group, and not even just our age group. You know, older people as well, maybe
Mhm.
some younger people as well.
Older people online, I would say, especially people online. but-
Right, and that topic is going to be self-image, guys. Self-image. I think it's a phenomenal topic. Kenny, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's a great topic. I mean, previously, I think what was it last season we had, or the season before that, season 1 or season 2, whatever. We had Dion on, and we talked specifically about body image, but that was
Yep.
a little more tailored towards his story and
Right.
the sort of insecurities that he suffered with.
Mhm.
This, I think, is going to be a little more, well, I think a lot more for younger people. Not that Dion's old or anything.
Right. Hey, don't say that too loud, huh?
Yeah, right. No, it's just
We love you, Theo. We love you.
just a little more. This is going to be a little more general as opposed to specific.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say that's definitely gonna be more general for everyone. You know, I want to correct myself. It's not really just for a specific age group, you know,
Yeah.
because there are people who are working on their image at 16 years old, and
Yeah.
then there's people who are working on their
60
image
years old.
at 50, at 59, you know,
Yeah.
60, 67. So, you know, kudos to you if you are realizing that there is such thing as a self-image, because a lot of people kind of, they don't really think that that's a thing.
Yeah, no, not at all.
You know what I mean?
For
And
better or worse, they don't realize it.
exactly. Ken,
Yeah.
what exactly is self-image to you, if you mind just defining it for the listeners?
I think relatively simple. Self-image is just the way, the lens through which you view yourself. So your attitudes towards who you are as a person, your personality, how you engage with others, that.
Yeah, right. I mean, definitely to piggyback off of you, it's just how one sees himself, you
Yeah,
know, in
yeah.
layman's terms.
Yeah, very simple.
In layman's terms,
Mhm.
but there's a lot of layers to that, Kenneth,
Yeah.
and I think that's what you were
that's what
trying
we're
to.
here to talk about. yeah.
Exactly, and that's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about some of the layers, at least the layers that we feel are pretty much
Yeah, most relevant.
most relevant, more important. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Where people can work on it regardless of age. Once
Yeah,
again,
exactly.
you know. But I first question when it really does come to self-image, Ken, and I want to know your opinion on this.
Mhm.
Is why is it really important?
Well, I think self-image is really important because self-image is it's how you view yourself is the way you're going to approach whatever it is you do in life, whatever your goals are, whatever you want to accomplish in life. It starts with your ability to think, how can I do it, or can I do it, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it changes and it morphs depending on where you are in life. So you may have a very negative self-image younger, but then have a very positive self-image as you get older and mature, and vice versa. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's definitely important. I would say that's the fuel to a lot of people's success.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you do speak about the successful people, they really hold themselves pretty high.
Yeah, they have a
You know?
super super positive self.
And then you want to know what that gets labeled as?
Cockiness.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
If you have too much confidence in
Yeah.
yourself, you're cocky.
Isn't that interesting?
And then if you don't have enough confidence in yourself, you're stressed, you're depressed, or you think so bad of yourself. Right. There's literally no middle ground
no
there.
middle ground, right?
I don't want to hear the
Right.
humble bullshit.
Right. No
right?
such thing.
Because you can't be humble.
Right.
Because if you say, "Oh, I'm not cocky, I'm humble," then you're like, "Oh, only
Yeah.
cocky people say that."
Right.
You know what I mean? And then if
Right.
you literally don't say shit, trying to be as modest as possible, oh, look at this guy, he's cocky. He's not
Exactly.
saying it. You know, it's just
Yeah.
it's a bunch of bullshit, bunch of
malarkey.
nonsense. Right. But I would definitely say it's very important, Ken. If I
Yeah.
gotta
100%.
I gotta agree with you there. You know, and you know, just off of personal experience, man, I always held myself to a very high image, right?
Yeah.
And
I've been there for a lot of that. So
yeah, man, I've
Yeah.
known you literally half my life at this
Yeah,
point.
that-
So you've seen
That's crazy.
yeah, it really is, right? So you've seen development, you know what I'm saying? As I
100%,
have
yeah.
with you, but
Mhm.
you know, man, I've always held myself as a higher dude,
Always.
especially from
Yeah.
where I am, man,
Yeah.
from where I'm from, excuse me. And to see where I am now in this moment as I sit and look at you in my
Mhm.
living room, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
secret base.
in the secret base, excuse me. Yep. It's crazy, man, because I've
Yeah.
always seen myself here, right? A lot of
Mhm.
people, and I've mentioned this in the first episode back when we spoke about betting on yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of people would always tell me like, "Oh, Check, you're very vibrant, your energy's
Yeah.
good," or
Yeah.
look at you where you're at. You're 26. I'm 27 now, but you know
Yeah.
this was back then. You're 25, 26,
Yeah.
and look at you. And then I tell people, I'm like, "Yo, listen, what's next? Like I've been here." And just to reel it back in, that's the self-image I've seen when I was 18.
Right,
When I
right.
graduated college and I started working with Mars, shout out
Mhm.
Mars,
Shout out
in the
Mars.
shop, right? I was
Yeah.
like, yo, I see myself in 3
Yeah.
years already. I'm going to
Right.
be studio Check. I'm going to do this and that.
And less than a year later, I would say you were already you're already at level up. I think like less than a year
Yeah,
after you graduated.
Exactly. You know,
Like a few months, I think.
I
really,
specifically, a few months, literally a
Yeah.
few months out of college.
Yeah.
No more than 3 months.
It really might have been a few weeks actually, because
Yeah.
I remember getting a haircut there like 4th of July.
Level up. Actually,
2018.
we had our
Yeah.
soft opening in June.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Might have been like the week of my birthday or something like that.
Yeah. We had
Yeah.
the soft opening in June, and then I was officially a barber there in July. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're right, bro.
Mhm.
Wow, good memory.
Yeah.
But the point is that I saw that version of myself, you know, and that was very important to me getting to where I am today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's exactly how I implemented that into my goals, bro, because
Mhm.
a goal of mine was to be a professional barber.
Yep.
And in my last few weeks of a senior in college, I would tell myself, I had a plan, bro. I was like, listen, I'm gonna work with my father for a couple of weeks while working in the barbershop and
Mhm.
pursue the news reporting career. However, if it doesn't work out for me, I got to level up and I'm gonna be the best barber in New York City.
Sure enough.
And I ended up doing that.
Sure
You know,
enough,
well,
yeah.
at least I think.
I think so too.
You feel
Shit,
me?
You know,
But
I think so.
Yeah, man, and it's you know, because I had that self-image of me,
Yeah.
Kenneth,
Yeah.
that made my goals become a reality.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Manifested, or
how have
whatever
you ever
call it.
exactly, right? For
Mhm.
lack of a better term, I
Yeah.
manifested that.
Yeah.
But the manifestation came from having an image of
Yeah, the
myself.
vision, yeah.
You feel
Mhm.
me? Now, Ken, with your goals,
Yeah.
you've had plenty of goals that I've seen you achieve, man,
Yeah.
throughout the years. How
Mhm.
would you say your self-image helped you obtain those goals?
You know, I would say ever since I was a kid, I've always been one of those people that whenever I set my mind to whatever I was doing, it was gonna get done, no matter what. Obviously, you know, it has to be like realistic,
Right,
but
right.
I never, even if it took a little longer than I expected, I never was like, oh, I can't do this or whatever. No, it's gonna get done. When it gets done, who
Mhm.
knows? But
Mhm.
I'm gonna get it done. Lately, for me, it's really just been, I think, just trusting my. I'm in a line of work now that I feel like I've always been good at since I was a kid, and I just get paid money to do it now.
Love that. And what is that, bro? What do you do?
I write for a living, so I'm a copywriter. You know, the Black Don Draper, if you will.
Yes, sir. Let's get
you
it.
know, you
Let's
know.
get it.
If you know, you know.
Right.
But yeah, you know, I've always been good at that since I was a kid, and that's not being, you know, cocky or whatever.
mhm.
Like, I got awards for that stuff when I was a kid.
Love that.
Right? You know what I'm saying? I was always a good writer. I was always good at reading and stuff. So, you know, now people pay me to basically, you know, write information and read information, and so, you know, I'm taking full advantage of that. It wasn't something that I always visualized myself doing. In fact, I never really visualized myself doing it, but I decided, I was like, okay, I'm really good at this. I always have been. It's time to, I might as well monetize it. I don't hate it. I like doing it. You know, it's not what I ultimately necessarily want to do, but but that started with my viewing myself as, my self image is I'm a damn good writer.
Yeah, exactly.
And I always have.
You accepted that.
Yes, that's the big thing. I accepted that. I think for a long time I kind of almost ran away from that because I figured like I wanted to do, I don't know, what I thought all the smart people did, right? Like all the smart people do math and engineering and all that shit. But the more I sunk my teeth into that stuff, the more I was like, I fucking hate this. I don't want to do this, right?
Yeah, man.
And so I just decided to just stick with, what I was already good at. And I'm already, I've got plenty of, I got clientele, I'm lining projects up. I'm editing a few books actually now.
Look at you.
Yeah. Short little books, but definitely, that stuff came from my self-image as like, me visualizing myself as, I'm a good writer.
A great writer. Yeah.
Writer.
And for as long as I've known you, man, you've always been one of my friends who speaks well.
Yeah.
Writes well as well.
Yeah.
So I love that you've been tapping into this, and I actually never knew that about you, bro. I never knew that you knew you could write, and you knew what's up. Like you knew what your strength was, because I've always known you as, I don't know. I feel like you were always a numbers kind of guy.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny enough. I was always just average in numbers. I just wanted to get good at it.
Wow, I see that. I just learned something new about Kenneth, man. That's fucking awesome, bro.
And I'm still relatively average at, I would say mathematical ability, but reading and writing was what I've always. It always just came naturally.
Love that, man. Love that.
Always really easy to me. There's hardly anything that's ever been hard for me in that sense. So,
absolutely. And quick advertisement for you, man. Yep. So for those small business owners who are listening, Kenneth is a copyright.
Yes,
so
sir.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Kenneth. What he does is he'll write you he'll do some research on your product, on yourself, so that way he can write a blog. Is that the right word?
Yeah, so I write blog posts. So basically I write copy, right? So I write words, persuasive writing. So
there you go.
If you need a newsletter, if you need blog posts, anything written that you need to persuade people to buy things, I can do that.
Right.
That's what I do.
There you go. That's why he said he's a black Don Draper.
I write black. I mean, without the insane upbringing, but yeah.
Right. That was crazy. But no, I hear you, man. Stuff. So yeah, guys. So if you guys need something with your small business in regards to that, definitely contact Kenneth. He definitely won't shy away from a good challenge either. So he's up for the task. Now, Kenneth, one thing that a lot of people don't realize when it comes to the self-image is sometimes it can be too much, or even sometimes too little.
Yeah.
Where it can affect relationships.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean all sorts of relationships, guys, from platonic to intimate relationships. I personally have had to distance myself throughout my years of growing up from people because of their self-image, right? I've encountered a lot of people who thought very low of themselves, and who would put themselves in a bracket that I either was never in or that I passed. That's just the elevator outside. The secret base is getting infiltrated.
I was like, we have an intruder around.
No, we're good. I've met people like that, and I had to separate myself. I had to distance themselves because it was affecting me, which we'll get into a little later.
For sure.
But the bigger picture, Ken, was that it was affecting our relationship, because now the different mentalities and the different confidence levels started to leak in to conversations. We would begin to have debates, or not even debates. We would have arguments, right? Because a debate, there's no right or wrong there, right? You're just expressing what you think. But an argument is like, yo, I'm angry at you, man. Like, there's no, you feel me? Like, we got to talk this out.
Yeah.
And it did come from the lack of a good self-image. And that shit did affect me, Ken, and I didn't like that. And it affected the relationship. And sometimes I would speak, right? And the relationship will, get rekindled, but it will never be the same.
Yeah.
Because that's something that can really alter a relationship is the self-image, right? And I feel like, for me, I've also encountered good people, right? Let me rephrase that.
I know what you mean.
People who have a positive self-image. And that shit made me check myself a couple times. It made check. You know what I'm saying? So, those are always good people to be around, right? You want people with a positive self-image. Have you experienced any relationships that have been deterred or halted, altered in any sort of way because of your self-image or another one's self-image?
I think both. Even recently, there's a group of people that I sort of used to hang around with, but I think because of differences in how we see the world, or at least how we see ourselves, I've definitely had to I've had to put brakes on it, in the sense that I've had to take them in doses, because and I'll actually get very specific. So like, these people are very they have high status, you could say, right? They have the nice jobs, the nice cars, home, whatever, but you can tell their self-image is in the dirt because they self-deprecate a lot, and that's something I just don't do, right? Like, maybe I used to do that, self-deprecate, but that's part of your self-image, that if you want to have a really healthy, positive one, you never self-deprecate.
Yeah, you definitely shouldn't.
You should never do that, because you're putting yourself down for no reason.
Yeah.
And you'll start to believe it if you say it enough. And these people, even though they pretend like they're better than other people because of their job, they pretend like they're better than other people because they make a whole lot of money, they hate themselves. And that's just energy I just don't want to be around. And especially I'm sorry, but especially if if you want to take action and you want to go do something new, especially, you don't need that kind of energy around. You can't have that kind of. So I distance myself from those people.
Nah, absolutely, bro. I feel you on that, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just very unfortunate when you do have to distance yourself from people you've been friends with for X amount of time, and then you just realize that, these people don't even look at themselves how I look at them.
No.
And that's the shit that be having me fucked up.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
like, bro, why do I see your potential more than you?
Exactly.
That's an issue, right?
Exactly.
That's an internal issue. Now, Kenneth mentioned something great, Kenneth. You mentioned how these people you spoke about, they were of higher status, in the sense of
college degrees, masters, high ranking in their
money in and out the ass type
jobs.
shit.
Yeah.
More
or less.
Well, more or less, right?
Yeah.
They're not
going
just
broke.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
People, please, this is tough, but you got to try to not get confused from self-image and a facade, right? Because like Kenneth said, these people will smile all day, but deep down inside, they self-deprecate themselves when they get home. They look in the mirror. I'm a piece of shit or whatever.
They'll say it even passing as a joke, like, oh, not to be vulgar, to be like, oh, my penis is small. Something ridiculous like that.
Right.
It's like, even little stuff like that, like you just shouldn't do it.
Yeah. A lot of people put on a facade, and that's exactly what Kenneth was explaining. Don't mix a facade with self-image, guys, and that's very hard to detect, because a facade is just that. It's a cover. It's a mask. Excuse me. It's a mask over the reality.
Yep.
And please don't confuse what we're trying to explain to you for a facade. We don't want you to put a facade out here. We want you to really dig deep and really accept, like Kenneth mentioned he did when he really, was like, yo, I'm a great writer. Accept who you are and move with it. Make it a positive thing now.
Yep.
You will go through a stage where you might look at yourself in the mirror and doubt yourself. Not to point you out, but I do remember a specific time in your life where you were very doubtful of yourself. You were in a very...
I still have some days like that.
As do I.
Like, but back then, it was very, very prominent.
I remember a specific amount of time. For a few months, my boy was really going through it.
Yeah.
And even myself, I'm like, yo, I can't be fucking with this shit. But, Kenneth is you my mans, bro. I'm not going to let you go like that. I ain't going to let you dig yourself deeper into the rabbit hole. You know what I mean? But... it's all good to go through that, but it's always about the bounce back.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
There comes a time for action, and
it definitely does.
That's a whole other thing.
You feel me? And there's also a whole lot of pros and cons to self-imaging, guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We've been talking about a lot of the cons and a lot of the pros, but we're gonna break a few down right now.
Yeah,
Ken, you want to go
specific.
cons or you want to go pros first? I'll let you pick.
Oh man, now I'm on the spot. Jeez.
Yes, you are.
Well, we just let's start with the pros.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, because we were just talking fake about
exactly.
some negatives.
Yeah.
All right, man. So what pro you want to start about, man?
Okay.
Start with, excuse me.
Yeah. So one of the pros of having a good self-image is it's a confidence booster.
Oh, big time. Big time.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We fake open with this when about the whole cocky, the whole humble shit, right? Because too much confidence.
Right.
Now you're too cocky, dude.
Right,
but
right.
too little confidence.
How does that translate to action? Because self-image and everything.
Right. So I know with me, at least, and others that I've seen who have a bunch of confidence, it makes you, and you mentioned this, makes you want to take more risk.
Yeah.
It puts you in a feeling and in a mental state that yo, like I'm the fucking man. or the woman,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
I'm that person. I look good.
That they them.
I feel Zize, Zim, Zish, whatever, Zizure. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Don't want to get political.
Sorry.
Just some dark humor, all right?
Resist,
Right.
resist.
If you know us, you know us. If you don't, stay offended and go in the fucking corner. I give two shits, to be honest. You know, it's like that shit really makes you want to take risks. It
Yeah.
makes you want to do things that you never could have thought that you would ever do.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not scared, though. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Right? Well, you are scared, right? You're nervous. We're human. But the level is way less than if you didn't have confidence.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I think having high confidence through your self-image will push you to make and take more action,
Yep.
Ken.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's going to make
100%.
you do that thing you've been putting off for so many
Forever.
weeks, for months, for
weeks,
years. You know what I'm
decades.
saying? Confidence will do that.
Yeah.
Confidence will also help you get up in the morning and get dressed better.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
I've had days, dude, where I would get up and I was just in the lowest of the low. I didn't even want to fucking get dressed. I wanted to
Yeah.
stay in bed all day. Or if I did get dressed, I was in super comfortable wear, like
Yeah.
sweats, chancletas,
Right.
going to work like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was cutting hair looking sloppy like that. That's
Yeah.
no good.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And, you know, but then I had days where I was like, yo, I woke up, I had all the energy in the
Yeah.
world because my confidence was on 1,000.
Right.
I might have had a fresh haircut, had my nails done, you know what I'm saying, whatever. And I put on a motherfucking fresh fit. And let me tell you, bro, I felt my best that day.
And that's all tied to self-image.
It's all
Yeah.
tied to self-image.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying, bro? What about you? You know, confidence and taking action with you?
I know for me, yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, it all starts with self-image and everything like that. For me, like when I take action, I know it's not always taking action is not always immediate. And so what you have to, if you have a positive self-image, you're gonna maintain that confidence, even though, like all the way through, like there's this intermediate period where you've taken action but nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're sitting there and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. And the only way to keep your confidence up, so to speak, is to maintain that self-image and then go out and take more action.
Yeah, bro, because that shit
you just
will
take actions until it all comes back to you.
Mhm.
But you just have to keep, you have to keep the ball rolling. But in order to even, in order to even get the strength to start pushing, you need to have that positive, that positive self-image, which gives you the confidence to then go out and act.
Yeah, all of that shit takes time. You know,
Yeah.
the self-image that we speak about, it develops over time.
Over time, yeah.
And
Mhm.
with this confidence, bro, it does produce a clearer mental state.
Yeah. Mhm.
And that mental state leads to you recognizing and realizing who and what you need to be around.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because let me tell you, we've all heard it before. Surround yourself with people like you,
Yeah,
right? In the
like-minded
sense of
people. Mhm.
like-minded people. That is so fucking important, bro.
Yeah, it's one of the most important things.
Like I've noticed,
super underrated.
I've noticed, you know, I'm a very social person.
Yeah.
You know, I have a lot of circle of friends. You know that, right?
Yep.
But there are certain circles that I be around, and I be on a different
Yeah.
level
Mhm.
of life,
Yeah.
bro. Not to say anything about any of my other friends.
No. It's
but
true.
it's
true.
just
It's
like,
true.
yo.
You literally vibrate with them on a different level. Like,
It's
literally,
crazy.
because I believe that has to do with like almost why you're friends with those people, why you're friends with whoever you're around.
Right.
Like for example, the energy you have with Mars, for example, is different than the energy that you have with HP or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like with HP, usually it's just on some chill shit, right? But with Mars, it's like because you guys are both master barbers, you guys have that master barber energy.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an unspoken, I would say, bond, or there's an unspoken language spoken between you guys. Like,
yeah, and I feel like that's with Mars and anyone. Like even
Yeah.
you and I, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
You
yeah,
and
yeah.
I vibrate on a different level.
but that's what I mean. It's all specific.
Right.
But
Our
like,
mentality.
Yeah, the mentality is all.
Mhm.
But it would be different if like you're around somebody who doesn't have any of that, who isn't even
Who has zero confidence?
zero,
Who has a
exactly.
negative
a negative self-image.
self-image,
Mhm.
which is
Mhm.
actually a great segue into the cons that we want to speak
Yeah.
about, right?
Mhm.
So with this mental clarity, it helps you recognize who you need to be around and also who you need to avoid.
Yeah. Mhm.
Being around these
100%.
people,
Psychic vampires, as they call them.
Ooh,
I forget who said that.
I like
but
that.
Yeah, I forget
I was trying to think of a
Yeah.
phrase or some sort of wording to label,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term,
Psychic vampires.
people like this, and that's exactly what they
Yeah.
are, man. And
Mhm.
these are the people, excuse me, who they're the people who talk bad about themselves,
Yep.
who throw
Mhm.
the joke, who go at home and just fucking look in the mirror
And they
just,
try to tear you down too.
yep, and then they try to also blame society and
Mhm.
other factors that got shit to do with it.
Yeah. Right.
Those are weak-minded people, guys. You got to stay away from them because they're
Yeah.
gonna cloud your mental.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And they're gonna halt your development.
Mhm.
We don't want that. We don't want that for any of us, and you shouldn't want that for people around you either.
And they'll
It's-
attract some of that same negative energy.
Exactly.
You know,
Everything
it'll all come
vibrates.
together.
Like
Yeah.
energy is a real thing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
It's
Like
not
that
so-
shit.
It's not some woo-woo bullshit. It's
It really
it's-
isn't.
If you know, you know. It's real.
You know, and also being around people like that, bro, that shit could, it could develop into insecurity
Yeah.
because
It will develop. I'm not even could. It will.
yeah,
It absolutely will.
you know, because that
Guaranteeing, man.
negative mentality will latch on to you, and it'll fester. Excuse me,
Yeah.
it'll fester, and it'll just build. The next thing you know, you're an insecure person. Meanwhile,
Exactly.
3, 4, 5 months ago, you were the
okay.
complete opposite.
You were great. You were good.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you were doing fine.
And that's how quick these things can
Yeah.
happen, Kenneth.
Mhm.
And people don't
Mhm.
fucking realize
It's
that.
fragile.
It's extremely fragile. Protect your energy. You hear this shit all the
Yeah,
time.
you see the corny shit. I mean, you
Nah, it's corny
no.
to an
I'm
extent.
saying, like, it's corny to an extent, but it is true. Like it's stereotypical, but it is true.
You know what it is? I think it's
Like-
because it's you see it
Oh my
everywhere
God,
that it's oversaturated at this point.
right.
But it's not a lie.
Yeah,
like
it's
protect
not
your
a lie at all.
motherfucking
No,
protect.
your energy. Yeah,
Protect your
For sure.
protect. You heard?
yeah.
Because listen, that energy is a real thing, guys. We actually vibrate off of each other. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure when it comes to the self-image shit, guys, you guys are always keeping a positive one.
Always, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you are your worst critic. So if we
Yeah.
go back to what you said,
Damn, I was just thinking that today too.
yeah, bro, like
just thinking that today.
you know, and then that goes for
Yeah.
anything, right? You could draw a line. If it's not too straight,
Yeah.
you're gonna be like, that's just not straight at all. But
Yeah.
it could look completely straight to someone else, and you
Mhm.
don't give a shit what they say because what you say trumps their word,
Exactly, it matters.
and it matters, right?
Matters
So
way more.
yeah, guys, just remember that is self-deprecating.
Yeah, self-deprecating.
Okay, so-
or self-deprecation. whatever
Okay,
you
yeah,
call it.
self-deprecation, guys, that's just no good. And if you have a friend in your circle right now that is a self-deprecating individual, that's no good either. You
Mhm.
need to let them know, listen, sit them down and talk to them. You can always help someone rebuild their self-image too, but don't tell them who they are. They got to find that out
Yeah,
on their
exactly.
own.
That's exactly right.
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying,
And
bro?
it- And if you're the one doing it, you know, you need to take a long look in the mirror and ask yourself why you do it.
Absolutely.
You know,
You know what I mean?
it's not gonna you're not gonna stop overnight necessarily. Maybe you will, which would be ideal.
Right. I mean, that's
But-
ideal, right?
You know, it'll take time for you to really sit there and admit it to yourself. Like, damn, I really do put myself down a lot. Why? You
Admit
know?
and accept. Admit and
Yeah.
accept. That's
How do
what
I
it
change
is.
that?
Yeah.
And, you know, you have to if you want to accomplish anything, you got to change that. That's necessary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you know, and I think that was a pretty good convo real quick. A quick convo. You know, our episodes are pretty short, guys. We ain't gonna pass 30 minutes for y'all. We
Yeah,
want you
no
guys to
worries.
listen to this on, your train ride to work,
Yeah,
train
your
ride to
commute.
school,
Yeah.
your commute. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know. And if you guys feel touched or whatever we have said has moved you to in any way, shape, or form, please feel free to contact us. You know, DM us on Instagram. From personal to the Chec Box Instagram, we're gonna answer you. We want shit like this, you know.
Yeah.
We do get messages every now and then from
For sure.
people about our
Yeah.
episodes and what we might have said. You know, it might have fucking lit a bulb in their head or hit them, struck a nerve, and we love hearing shit like this.
Yeah.
This is exactly why we keep coming back,
Yeah.
because if we didn't get shit like this, I guarantee you this
No, we wouldn't
equipment
do
will
it.
be
I wouldn't
collecting
do
dust.
it.
So
No. Yeah.
Kenneth, what's up, man? You got any closing words?
Yeah. If you want to, for anybody, I would say for anybody who does not have, who feels like they don't have a positive self-image, you should, and this is going to sound a little wonky, but you should take a book out, pen, paper, whatever, and write down all the things you're good at and focus on developing those things. You may think, you're not good at anything. Trust me, you're good at something. If you're alive right now, you're good at something. Figure out what it is. Focus on that, and I guarantee you will see a boost in your self-image, And if you feel like you're hiding from whatever you're good at, or you feel like, what you're good at isn't valuable, that's not true. It's valuable in somehow, some way, in some form. you just have to figure it out, and you will figure it out. Just focus on it, develop yourself in that way.
Love
and that's
that.
that's a great starting point. It's not everything you need to do, obviously, but that's a great starting point if you're feeling like you have a negative self-image. That's a great way to trend upwards.
Love that, Kenneth.
You
Love
know.
that. Know your worth, guys. Know your worth,
Yeah,
guys.
always.
And that's going to be it for today's episode on self-image, guys. I'm your host, Chec. You can follow us at the Chec Box on all platforms. That's at THECHECBOX. You can follow my personal Instagram at YoCheckIt, YoChecit. Kenneth, take it away.
You can
Just tell them you can follow it.
Sorry.
Wherever.
It's been a minute, guys. Sorry. You can follow me at KJC89KG on Instagram. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got for now.
Yeah, I don't know if your weight changed in your display name, so
bro,
that's why I stay away from it.
I'm trying to come down to 81.
Oh,
it's been rough.
There you have it, guys.
It's been rough.
And that's today's episode of the Chec Box. Thanks for joining us. If you have gotten to this point in the episode, we will see you next time.
Yes, sir.
Holla.